their competitor men is absolutely absurd.
No, that's not what I argued either. Though I argued that they can take steroids and they can have the same as an average man, the same strength as an average man, not as a competitor. Not as the top athlete, because most men can't even reach that guy's strength. Anyways, we're talking about average men. A woman can take a steroid pill and reach the strength of an average man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, that's possible. But what I'm saying is that when we're talking about this in the context of sports, right? That's why I said from the beginning, for transgender women to compete in the women's division is unfair because it gives them an advantage, right? So another really small example that I think everyone understands and everyone can relate to is, why do you think a bunch of men are transitioning to women but not the other way around?
Yeah, so my understanding is men's sports has always been open. At least most men's sports are always been open. They're not actually...
You know why?
Yeah, they're not actually guarded by sex. So and a woman can join men's sports. What happened was women just failed so hard that they opened up their own class.
Wait, say it again? Why aren't women going
My understanding is all men's sports are unisexual. Like anybody can join. Like they're not unique for men. Like when you go to a men's sport, any men's event, most men's event, like let's go to a soccer game. If you go to a soccer game, it's not actually forced upon it to be men only, but it's because women cannot compete at the high level that these athletes are competing. They open their own women's sports. But my understanding is men's sports is always unisexual. It's always open to anyone can join. Women is the one that closed up only for women.
Why is that?
Yeah, because women are much weaker on average when they compete with men in terms of sports.
They're weaker, they have less reaction time, they have lower VO2 max, they have lower bone density, lower
Yeah, but I'm telling you, if you're going to argue from a scientific point, that can all be fixed scientifically with a pill. Like, they can work on... Like, the problem is I'm trying to get you to a point where... You're right. Today, there's no technology there's no, at least, reliable technology today. But in 10 years, there could be reliable technology that a woman can take a pill for 2 years. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. Reliable technology. Let me please finish.
You've been talking 90% of the time, bro.
No worries. Reliable technology to make the woman have the same strength as an average man, same reaction as an average man. Now, what do you have to argue that... Now, what do you have to say that why should women not be able to compete in men's sport?
It's not there yet. We're nowhere near that yet.
That's all you have. So that means the second I can get there, you're forced to accept that men should be able to compete in women's sport and vice versa. And this is why I'm telling you the biological argument does not map on, like because the technology is being created to switch that outcome, change the consequence.
Yeah, but then, if somebody like yourself and many other people who are trans activists, if they're all for having to level the playing field, you guys have the burden of proof to be able to say, hey, we finally came up with a concept of equalizing the playing field by having this drug A, B, and C. I agree with you. If they do come out that, great, but...
They're doing it right now. I don't know what you're talking about. They're literally working on it right now. Leah Thomas, for example, they were able to reduce her estrogen, her testosterone level so high that she was able to compete in the highest level of Olympics sporting events. Wait,
what? Say it again.
Was it the Olympic, or she was able to enter the Olympics because of her level of estrogen?
No, they denied her.
Level of testosterone. Basically, she was able to compete. She was able to compete against women at the highest level, all because she took a little bit of hormonal therapy to reduce her testosterone. And then I can also show you proof that there's other men reducing their hormones. And then I'm also going to show you proof that there's women increasing their hormones and trying to compete, but they're failing.
You're not going to let me respond. Okay, so as far as the Leah Thomas thing is concerned, they actually did a deep dive into this on several shows, and what I was talking about, the most you'll ever see in terms of a variance in decreasing your testosterone to even get to even close to what a woman is it only goes down by 5% if you do the most radical form of hormone therapy. That's actually the first myth, is that, you know, Leah Thomas is still a man, she'll always be a man, and in terms of her biological and blood profile, yeah, it only goes down up to about 5%, and that's before transitioning as a teenager. Obviously, Leah Thomas transitioned in the middle of going to Penn State, right? But yeah, I mean, listen, I'm all for that. If you can show that you can equalize the playing field by doing that with a drug coming out, that's fine. But the point is, it's not even there yet. So therefore,
yeah, but my point is that they're working on it. It's like saying if you can prove to me that there's an artificial womb, then I will make natural pregnancy misogynistic act. I'm like, okay, well, they're working on it right now. Like, you're telling me you need to wait till the proof. Well, I'm telling you, they're doing it right now. They're working on an artificial womb so they can make natural pregnancy misogynistic thing, because you are basically forcing this woman to get into 9 months worth of hell. And the delivery is such a devilish painful thing that
what?
basically what I'm trying to tell you is the same reason they're gonna make artificial womb necessary over natural pregnancy, and they're gonna force natural pregnancy to become a misogynistic act because it's so harmful to the woman. When they have the technology to create an artificial womb, do you understand me? That the technology for the artificial womb is coming.
For the woman to be pregnant.
It's in the making. The technology is in the making. So the only thing that you're waiting on is for the technology to get here. Once it gets here, you have to accept then that you're right. Natural pregnancy is a misogynistic act. Yes, you're right. Women can compete with men. Yes, you are right. All they have, as long as you can prove to me they took this pill, then I'm forced to accept whatever you want to tell me. This is why scientifically, when you use biological argument, they don't work.
So do you agree that women should be able to, or men should be able to compete in women's sports now?
Hell no. I think women should be a protected class, but I'm telling you the argument, if you're going to try to use a scientific argument, that's what literally technology is made for. It's made to change outcomes from the scientific perspective, so they can force you to accept these scientific arguments.
But we're nowhere near that. We're nowhere.
You keep saying we're nowhere near that. You keep saying that, but I can show you evidence that men changed into women and competed at the highest level. I can show you evidence that women changed into men and tried to compete at the highest level.
Okay, please do.
Okay, what do you mean? Please do. Leah Thomas, she was able to compete.
I just debunked that. The maximum you can only increase your blood lipid profile and your genetic profile is within 5% variance of testosterone and estrogen, as in going from man to woman, as you so to speak, right? And that's before transitioning as a teenager, before all the hormones kick in.
Can you show me the study for that? 5%? Why is it maxed out at 5%? That makes no sense.
Because that's the most a male can decrease their testosterone before transitioning at the age of 13. I'd be happy to send you the links afterwards. There was on 5 different shows. It was on Daily Wire, it was on Dr. Phil, along with obviously you remember the competitor of Leah Thomas. What's his?
I don't know. This makes no sense to me.
Riley.
This actually makes no sense to me, and I need to look at evidence for this. You're saying 5%. This makes no sense. If I cut off my testicles, you can never tell me that my testosterone level went down by 5%. That's insane. That's a crazy talk. It went down by 100%.
Well, here's the thing about here's how arguments actually work, right? Because you made the claim that there's technology out that can equalize the playing field. The burden of proof is for you to prove that.
Yeah, I've already proved it. I've proved that men are competing with women at the highest levels. They're doing it right now, and they're winning.
Show me the PDF source that you got. Show me the peer-proved.
And why are they doing it? Only because their hormonal levels are reaching a certain. Let me finish, please. The only reason they're doing it is because their hormonal levels are reaching a certain number.
Look, I'm asking you substantially on the proof that you have. That's all I'm asking you to show.
What are you talking about? What? Look. All I have to do is show you the reason why they allowed Leah Thomas to join, which is her testosterone level went down.
Did not go down. It didn't go down. It went down within the 5%.
Bro, you're saying this, but you won't provide anything.
Because you're making the claim. See, the way arguments work, sir, is that when you make a claim, and you're the one making an outstanding claim, and this is an outstanding claim, the burden of proof is on you to provide that. It's not for me to disprove.
I'm gonna bring you the proof that the NCAA had to force Leah Thomas to get to a certain hormonal level before they allowed her to join.
No. Now you're changing the goalposts. You said that her levels was changed so much to the degree that she can now compete competitively with women. That was your claim.
Yeah, according to the NCAA, yes.
The NCAA let her play. Yes, I already know that.
Okay. Wait. So what is my claim? Who am I claiming according to what? To what scientific method or scientific standard am I claiming that she was able to reduce the hormones? Is it to the actual league, like the actual league board, the league of directors of the NCAA? Yeah, they are the officials that are the ones that are overseeing this matter. They're the experts on this. That's why I'm using as a standard and a reference.
Can I respond? Am I going to get a chance to talk, or are you just going to prattle on for like 4 minutes straight? If we're going to have a debate, we have to be able to have a back and forth.
But your debates are weird because it doesn't make sense. I'm telling you, I use the standard that is the NCAA board of directors.
You made the claim that Leah Thomas can reduce her hormones to that of the average female athlete.
No, that's not what I claimed. No, that's not what I claimed.
Okay.
That's not what I claimed. See how you strawman me? This is what I claimed was that she was able to reduce it enough to compete according to the NCAA regulations. That's all I said.
Right, and then NCAA. Right, I agree with that. And the NCAA is garbage, and they should never allow her to do that.
So exactly. So I didn't say anything wrong. So actually, that's why I want you to prove that she wasn't able to reach those hormonal levels. Go ahead, you prove to me that she didn't reach those hormonal levels. She was competing at higher levels than what the NCAA allows. You can't actually prove that.
Well, I mean, you can't be quiet for more than 2 seconds, so it's kind of hard for me to actually get in and say anything. But in terms of actually reaching the levels of a woman, an average female athlete woman, right?
No.
She was able.
No. You can't say that. You can't say that because if I cut off your dick right now, you'll reach the testosterone level for women.
Okay.
This is crazy. You have literally zero evidence. You keep saying I'm the one that's not providing any evidence. It's normal knowledge. It's clear knowledge. Everyone knows about it that the NCAA forced. Let me finish, please.
Basically, what I'm saying is that when you actually have a article where it was actually found on the show that you can only probably kick me off.
Who kicked you off?
Are you there? Are you there?
Who kicked you off?
Okay. What I'm basically saying is we agree that the NCAA qualified Leah Thomas, which they shouldn't have done, to compete in the women's division. That was a huge disgrace. The argument I'm making is that you will never, ever, 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 ever get down to even close the hormone profile of a female being a grown male. That's what I'm saying. Nothing.
I don't think that actually is true. I think that they were able to. I think that's why the NCAA allowed her to join. Was she went into the levels of what an average female competitor looks like, or at least is close to it.
I actually have the NCAA pulled up right now. So the NCAA, all you have to do is you have to change your gender, basically, on your license, and you have to undergo hormone therapy for 24 months. You would have to have continuous hormone therapy for 24 months straight upon switching the teams. That's it, and that's ridiculous because that doesn't do anything to change your hormone level down that far. So I do agree with the NCAA part that allowed her to do so, but in terms of whether she's actually at that hormone profile, no, it's absolutely absurd.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. They're saying that she needs to prove that she had 36 months of hormonal therapy.
I said 24. Okay, so 36 months. There's guidelines on there that are absolutely absurd that they don't change anything about her physiologically, right? So just because the NCAA made it okay, which both you and I agree, doesn't mean she was actually that of a hormone profile of a female athlete. So that's all I'm saying. And we can see this very clearly with.
Of course, I agree with you. It's never gonna get there. But what I was arguing with was the NCAA forced some kind of a reduction or an introduction.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, they forced. They first forced. Let me finish. So what they did was they forced that she had to have introduced to these hormonal therapies. Then they forced that she has to get to a certain level, is my understanding. And once she got to there, that's it. They immediately allowed her. And that's why I think she didn't even reach this 36-month of record.
Well, if there means that she got to the same hormone level officially as a female, that's absurd. That's ridiculous. Nobody in their right mind would agree with that. If they got to the acceptable level that they wanted her to get to, which is like maybe 1% or 2% down, then I can conceive with that. But there is no male out there in this universe that can ever get to even close that of a woman's hormone level. Not even close. Not with drugs, not even before teenager. That's ridiculous. That's absurd. It has been debunked. I don't have them right now, but I'd be more than happy to provide the links for you later. At the same time, going back to the Leah Thomas example, let's think of something a little more simple. So I ran my whole life. I did cross country. I did it's usually a 5K or 3 mile, depending if you're in the U.S. or not. Did you ever run before? Do a race like a 5K, 10K?
No. I did the marathons, but that's it. No races.
Okay. So a really small example of why it's egregiously unfair currently. In the future, let's just stick to what we know right now, which is right now, right? The top 10% finishers, they're all predominantly men, right? They're usually, dare say, probably 95% of the first finishers are all men. In a regular race where you don't have a totally skewed standard deviation of a ton of elite women racing with a ton of average men. I'm talking just a regular race. You see this all across the board, right? You see this across bench press. You see this across sprinting events. You see this across all demographics, all ages, all ethnicities around the world, right? Men predominantly finish not a little bit, but way ahead of women, right? Another example is I ran a race recently and decided to see, well, how good would I fare against the women. So I got about 24 minutes for 3.5 miles. Not terrible, not great, right? I would have been about 500 something place for a man aged 41 to 45. For the women, I would have been in the top 10.
So let me tell you what that I'm looking into the NCAA guideline. I know exactly. Look, the problem is I totally agree with you.
Can you respond what I just said though? Can you respond what I just said though?
No, I totally agree with you. That it's totally unfair for a man to compete with women. This is the problem. Is I'm 100% on your side of this argument. The problem is you're using, I think, a flawed argument that it's biologically the reason, because that's what they're doing. They're actually breaking that ability for you to even make that argument. So my understanding here, I'm looking at the NCAA guidelines. The USA Swimming has already taken this approach by implementing a 36-month period in which trans women testosterone must be below 5 nanomoles per liter. So they have a set limit that as long as you do not reach, they believe it's at least at the same hormonal level as most women would be, at least in the testosterone sense. And that's why they're forcing the 36-month window, is because that's on average how long it takes. Or at least for 36...
Right, but you understand that's not going to do anything, though. That's not going to do anything in terms of perform less force or less power of force production, which is power. Power is force over time. It's not going to... And by the way, I'm a physiologist, in case you should know. I work at one of the biggest labs in western Arizona. And none of this changes anything.
It's true.
It barely changes anything.
It's true,
Nothing.
yeah. It's. I mean, it does
shit.
change. It does change how she's going to feel after, like, or her recovery, because her testosterone is so low. But you're right, the explosive power is already inside the muscle. The muscle has already been developed, and the testosterone... It
does nothing.
Yeah, it literally does nothing. Just weakens her post, like, it's her recovery's weakened.
No argument there, then.
So, yeah, there's no argument, but what I'm telling you is that the actual evidence is showing that they are building these pharmaceuticals that are supposed to replace hormonal... like hormones in the body, and they are supposedly at some point going to change the complete composition physiologically of the women and men, and that's part of the reason why they're arguing that these people are interchangeable. Look, the problem is I'm on your side right now. That's why I'm trying to perfect this argument. But I think the scientific argument is a little bit flawed.
If you're gonna bring that up, though, the burden's on you to be able to say, "Oh, damn, really? There's something out there like that? Show me." Because damn, I'll be blown away if I see that. That'd be like a breakthrough in technology. Because there's not a damn thing right now I can tell you, working for 20 years, that's going to change LeBron James into someone like Megan Riley.
But no, my understanding is there is steroids and brand new steroids, like for example Anavar, that is brand new, still being tested and tried. And it actually has much less side effects and gives insane results. Like, it allows women, and it's mostly used by women, and it allows women to get insane results of like power and push and muscle gain and muscle mass like never before.
Doubting that.
No, my understanding is they've never been like this before.
They would still get destroyed by... Another thing I do is jiu-jitsu on the side. And I can tell you right now, I mean, I could tell you out of all the and just kind of as a side note, but I'm going to wrap all this up. It's going to make sense.
No. But Belly, before you get into that side note, can I just get you my point? My point here is, if there's a pill that a woman can take and she becomes at the same strength, if she takes it for a year, she becomes the same strength as an average man, and then there's another pill that a man can take and he loses strength and he becomes the same hormonal level as an average woman, how can you tell me that this physiological change is not happening and that this technology is not already here?
Because you haven't shown me any proof of that.
Look, listen to my argument. My argument is, if a woman takes Anavar for a year, listen to the argument. My argument is, if a woman takes Anavar for a year, she's going to be able to lift.
I listened to it, but you've said nothing. You've said there's stuff out there, and you can't substantiate on that. You said you provided nothing other than.
Do you not know about Anavar? Like, what study should I give you about Anavar? What do you need me to show you? About? Do you not know anything about Anavar?
I know about steroids. Sir, I've been doing this for a long time, and I know what I'm talking about here. This is why I chose to go this direction. So again, if you're going to make a claim hey, there's stuff out there already, how do you know there's not stuff out there? It's not my job to disprove your claim. It is your job to support your claim.
Bro, are you mentally ill? I'm telling you, Anavar is there. All you have to do is take it for a year and you get to the hormonal levels of an average man and the strength of an average man when it comes to the testosterone level. And then if you do the other one, which is at least it would be to a very weak average man, and then you can also take another pill that Leah Thomas was taking for a year or two, and you can get to the hormonal levels of an average woman. I'm not sure you're gonna get as weak as her, but you'll get to that level of hormones. So how can you actually say that I'm not showing you proof when Leah Thomas was able to reduce her testosterone intake all the way down to 5 nanomilli? Listen, she was able with a pill, with hormonal therapy, to reduce her testosterone levels all the way down to an average female. And then also, I can show you women that are competing at a high level using Anavar and lifting higher than average men.
Down to the average of a woman, dude. You keep bouncing back and forth between me saying, yeah, you're right. I mean, she didn't really go all the way down to women, but then you keep saying, but then she brought all the way down to women.
Yeah, an average weak man. Yeah, I mean, the problem is the nuance in testosterone level today is crazy. The average is literally between 200 to 500. Like, it's crazy.
It's really not that. It's really not that big of a variance.
It's actually a huge variance. The I was nice, 200 to 500. It's actually like 200 to 700.
Okay, I mean,
it's a huge variance. I don't know what you're talking about. Testosterone of the average man is hugely varied, like at this day and age.
Okay, and what do you think the testosterone level is the top male athletes? What do you think those are like? With the elite male athletes?
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. All I have to prove is that the woman can get to the... No, it doesn't matter. All I have to prove is the woman can get to the testosterone level of an average man. Doesn't have to... I don't have to prove... I don't have to prove that she can get to the average of an athlete, the testosterone of an average athlete, because we don't have to prove that for men to compete.
What is this steroid called that's supposed to get a male down from a male's hormonal level? What hormone are you specifically talking about? Testosterone?
I'm talking about the NCAA hormonal therapy guidelines, which are basically to take hormonal replacement. It's basically the it's called exogenous estrogen. It's called. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. It's called testosterone blockers and exogenous estrogen.
Okay, and that's off the NCAA website.
Yeah, that's from the NCAA guidelines. Yep.
I just agreed with you, and I conceded that the NCAA did have guidelines like that. However, any hormone and testosterone blocker out there only reduces it within the 5%, and that's before taking it as a teenager.
You keep saying that, but you haven't proved any study, and I'm telling you right now, trans women testosterone must be below 5 nanomoles per liter, and that's much bigger than 5% reduction.
Okay. You're making if you're going to make a claim.
No, you're the one that just made the claim that it's actually reducing only by 5%. You haven't proved one bit of evidence. My claim is that the NCAA wouldn't allow Leah Thomas to compete if she didn't drop her testosterone below 5 nanomoles. And you keep saying that that's actually only 5%. Show me proof that 5 nanomoles of testosterone is actually 5% the reduction. That's bullshit. That's an insane reduction.
There's a plethora of stuff out there. I'd be more than happy to
Okay, show me one piece of evidence. Show me one thing. You keep claiming, this is your claim. This is the breaking claim here.
Right, but if I'm going to do that, though, you need to show me proof that there's something out there that can actually reduce your testosterone all the way down to the level of an average female if you're a male, and then all the way up to a male if you're an average female. I don't have the units in front of me. I have no idea, but I know it doesn't change LeBron James into an average female. You're not going to change LeBron James to an average female. There's nothing out there that can do that. If there is, show me a specific drug that's out there. We'll research it. Oh, that's not what I'm asking you. Show me an anabolic steroid that can actually turn a woman into someone like LeBron James and vice versa. And you give me the name of the drug or not? What's the name of the drug? What's the name of the drug? What's the name of the drug that can turn? That is a category of one. Give me the specific one that you said that's currently out right now that can make an average female turn into somebody that is as strong as an elite athlete, man. Assuming that's the position you're taking there. Well, then that's null. Then you got nothing. You're just talking out of the side of your mouth. Based on what? You provided nothing. Right, right. For the third time, we agree on the NCAA standards. What's the drug out there specifically that's out there right now that can transform a male to a female and vice versa in terms of their hormone levels? I want to make sure I'm not mischaracterizing your argument. Is that what I'm? Did I mischaracterize anything that you claimed? What is it? That's including the 5% already. That's already what's out there. I'm saying, in addition to what's out there, you said that you can make somebody who's like LeBron James today. Well, then why? So then why aren't females going into the males and breaking records? Then, if that's the case, that's another obvious question. Yeah, but if there's a woman out there that you can make into an elite man athlete, like these drugs you're talking about, surely wouldn't matter which side they go on. Uh huh.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm
My
just
mic
waiting
got
for
cut
your
off.
response.
This is why it's very important that you don't strawman me and know what my argument is. My argument was that using hormonal therapy, you can get to the levels of a really weak average man as a woman, and you can
You
get to
can't.
the levels of an average woman
Right,
with
show
the
me.
other way around too. That's my
Show
whole
me
argument. My
articles
argument
that
wasn't
says
that females can get to the athlete's level of a regular man, because if that's possible,
Okay, so
I
let
would
me,
take those
so let me-
drugs.
Let me repeat your argument. Let me repeat this argument back to you. I'll steel man it for you. Okay, you're basically saying that you can get a male down to the average hormonal level of a female. Is that right or no?
Yeah, yeah, close to the average.
Yes or no? Okay. You need to show me proof of that. What article or peer-reviewed research article did you read that actually says that? Okay,
All right.
because these are
All right, look what I did. Look what I did. No worries. Look
No,
what I did.
you need to
I sent
provide
you an
me
article.
hard evidence to actually show me. Otherwise, you're just talking out of the side of your mouth. That's
All
how
right, I
research
sent
works
you
now.
evidence of the testosterone study here, and it's showing you the average testosterone levels of men and females. And I left you the note here. The average is between 300 to men and 1,000. Look at the fucking variance. Remember when you were arguing there's no big variance? It's literally bigger than my argument. My argument was between 200, 700. This is between 300 to 1,000. Look at the variance between average men. Now, anyways, let me finish my point. So the point here is to show you the average testosterone level. And then I also want to show you we also know that NCAA won't allow you to compete and are having problems with Leah Thomas because she can't get to the 5 nanomoles level, and that 5 nanomole, you could say that's basically an elite female.
She was 500 men. She was not even top 500 as man. She was the woman champion. What does that say?
Yeah, but you're talking about the physical prowess. All I'm talking about is if you're going to use a scientific argument.
What is that driven by? What is?
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me finish, please. My argument is if you're going to use a scientific argument, be careful because science is ever evolving and at some point you won't be able to use it or you will have to accept that an average man can compete with an average female. You would have to accept that.
Well, again, so then I'll ask you, why aren't women beating out men's records then? And it's only one way.
Because the drugs hasn't been developed safely enough yet. Just like the artificial womb. Just like the artificial womb.
Your bullshit argument doesn't work then. So then there isn't anything out there.
Okay, if it's a bullshit argument, then go ahead and give me anything else that you can argue.
I don't have to give it to you. You're the one that's claiming it. You're the one that has to give it to me. That's how arguments work, Bubba.
Bro, you're claiming it's a bullshit argument, but I have proof that they can reduce hormonal level. I have proof that they can reduce and increase testosterone level.
All the way down? All the way down to the
man, why can't they? Why can't they? This is the first, by the way, this is the first form of hormonal therapy that's able to do this. What if they develop more hormonal therapy? You don't know. You don't know anything. This is the problem. You're just making speculation and assumptions.
And saying, what if this? Show me what they have right
Their
now.
Job.
Compelling that says that
the scientific community's job.
Quiet. Give me a second. Gosh, you talk a lot. You talk more than my wife. Give me an argument that basically says, here's what the product we have right now, and this can actually take the level of testosterone that an average man has down to the level of an average woman. If I'm mischaracterizing what you said, Now's your chance to let me know.
All right, let me go ahead and
Let
give
me
you
know
the
the product
argument.
that's out there.
All right, using
No, give me the
if
drug
I
out there
use
that's actually out there.
if an average
Give
man
me the
uses
drug, not the
puberty
NCAA
blockers,
guidelines, not the guidelines, not the bullshit guidelines.
Okay, okay.
We already agree on that. But the actual drug.
if average man at 24 years old, 25 years old uses testosterone blockers and combines a level of
Which one?
exogenous estrogen, it could be
That's not
anything,
an argument.
and use any level of exogenous estrogen, he's going to start affecting his hormonal levels immediately. Now, my argument
drug?
is,
Give me the name of the drug. You said there's a drug.
I don't
out
have to
there.
give
What
you the
drug
name
is
of the
that?
drug. I don't have to. I
Because you don't
told
have
you
shit.
the name of the actual
You
mechanism,
don't have
which is
jack fucking shit.
testosterone
You don't have
blockers.
anything. You don't have anything. That's why you're just prattling on.
I'm giving you
about
the
same
mechanism,
dumb shit.
bro. It doesn't matter. Like, even if I give you the name of the drug, that doesn't win me or lose me the argument at all, because the argument
Sure
is
it does, because I'll be able to look it up and I'd be able to pull
no,
up the
because
research
this
and I can
argument is
read
still
research and then I
okay.
can
Look
it
up testosterone blockers and exogenous estrogen. Exogenous estrogen. Look that up. That's all you need. I'm giving you the mechanism that they're
I
using.
know very well what that is. That doesn't do it. I know very well what that is. I'm very familiar with
Okay,
that.
but that's the mechanism they're using to reduce your
doesn't level
hormonal
it down all
levels.
the way
I
to
don't
the
need to
level
give
of
you the name
female.
of the drug. It's just the generic name of them. Is these?
If you're going to back up what
testosterone.
you're saying, if you're going to try to back up
All
what
I
you're
have
saying,
to
you
do,
absolutely
all I
need
have to
give
do
me-
to back up what I'm saying is to prove that testosterone blockers and exogenous estrogen is actually effective to the hormonal levels, and I can
Right,
actually
which
prove
one?
that. If that's the studies you want to show, we want me to show you, I can prove you exogenous estrogen combined with testosterone blockers can.
They already do that. They've done that for years.
Exactly. So now,
It's
so
not
you agree
work.
with me? You can change the hormonal levels. Your only argument is you can't be as strong as an average man.
You can't change it to that degree. The degree
What
which
is your
you're
argument
claiming of
even? What
making
is your
average.
argument? I think your argument is literally you cannot become hormonally an athlete, but you can hormonally become an average man as a woman, right? That's what you're arguing? What is your
No.
argument? Because you agree with me, you can change your hormonal therapy. You just don't agree that you can get to elite level.
To a very small degree, and the degree to which you can change your hormone level is the degree to which you can change your rate of power or rate of force production, your time reaction, and all the other things associated with sports.
Okay, that's
very
amazing.
small.
That's why they're trying to develop
Very
these new
small.
medicines so they can be more effective in changing the hormonal
They
therapy.
can
Because
try, but they haven't developed anything close to what you're saying yet, sir. I'm sorry, you're just wrong.
yeah, because this is brand new science, but they're working on it. They were actually
you
able.
disagree
No,
with
no,
me.
no, 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 no,
You
no,
said,
no,
yeah,
wait.
You disagreed with me.
Wait, no. This is no. The only when I say it's new science, that means there's not a lot of studies, but there's so much evidence to show that. For example, there's so many different ways to affect hormonal changes, much more than just testosterone blockers. If, for example, if I cut off your penis, immediately shuts down all testosterone production completely. Now I can switch out testosterone production to an estrogen production. There's so much
Yeah, so let's
there's
go
so
over one
much
example.
different
So,
things they're
if I were
developing.
to-
And by the way, we're only
were
talking
to-
about the medicine.
if I were to-
Let me finish, please. Please, just one
I were to-
one
well,
final
you've been
point. One
talking for
final
like
point.
past
Just
few
10
minutes,
seconds. 10 seconds. One final point. So, by the way, all we're talking about is the pills and medicine. We're not talking about the actual surgeries, the actual medical community, when it actually gets into the
All right, that was 10 seconds.
facts
so in
of the
terms
matter.
cutting off your junk, that actually doesn't change a lot either, especially if it's after your puberty. Just to let you know. Just FYI. You keep mentioning cutting off the thing. So, I don't know if I'd use that word.
So you're saying it doesn't
But,
change
yeah.
your hormonal levels in any way?
It does, but again, it does, but not by much. It's within that 5. It's probably not even probably not even a percent.
Bullshit.
Especially if you're ready.
You keep saying it's by 5%. I just proved to you that the average man is at 10 nanomoles per liter, and you are supposed to drop down to 5 nanomoles to compete. That means you're dropping 50% change in effective hormonal level. That's bullshit. Till now, you haven't proven the study that 5% is the only change that you can effectively see in a normal human being.
They did a thing on.
Show me the study. You keep claiming 5%. By the way, this is the only reason.
Bring on the Leah Thomas with Riley Gaines. They were on the Dr. Phil show. They were also on the Doctor show. They also did something on Daily Wire, and they have the resources on their crowd.
Just give me one thing, yeah, because this is
Matt Walsh. They have it on What Is a Woman, which is a documentary that Matt Walsh had.
Yeah, but this is the center of your argument. This is the center of your argument that I can only change by 5% physiologically. Sir, your only argument here is you can only change 5% physiologically, and that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. There's zero proof for that.
Well, your hormones can only change within 5%, and that's the ceiling limit up before you go through puberty. After that, it's way less than that. And as a result of that, the driving force of
can you send me an article just so I can read it?
I'm still talking. the driving force of muscle production and all that other stuff comes from hormones. That's my point.
Yeah, and that's their point too. Their point is, as long as we can change your hormone, we can make you just as strong as any other man. That's their point. That's literally their point. So all I have to prove to you is that hormonal level changing is possible, and that's actually something doable right now.
Right now, it's only within 5%, so it's not insufficient to change it.
Show me, but you have to prove the evidence, because the evidence I'm looking at is up to 50%. It's not 5% only.
All right, and what's that evidence that you're looking at?
Is the one that I showed you, which is the average testosterone of the smallest man is at 10 nanomoles.
That's nothing.
And to compete in the NCAA, you have to get to 5.
It's a generic breakdown of how things actually work and how hormones work. It's not an actual specific drug that says, "Hey, we have."
No, sir.
Variance.
Belly, man. Do you understand? To get to the NCAA guidelines level, which is the 5 nanomoles, you have to do over 50% reduction of hormonal level when it comes to testosterone.
That's on the NCAA I'm looking right now. You have to reduce within 50% of your hormonal level to.
Yeah, because if the average hormonal level is at 10, by the way, I'm being nice at 50%. It's even more if your average hormonal level is at 35 nanomoles per liter. You have to reduce much more to get down to the 5 nanomoles per liter guideline. But explain to me how are they able to use hormonal therapy to get down to the 5 nanomoles per liter guideline when their average is at 10 nanomoles, and on a bad day it's at 10 nanomoles, and that's over 50% reduction of testosterone level.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're making an outstanding claim. I was looking at the NCAA website. It says nothing on there about 50%.
Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, can you hear me? Hello?
I know exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you understand what I'm saying? I'm deriving to this from my own conclusion. I'm not using a study. I'm using all the evidence you provided and I provided to come up to a conclusion. Do you understand this? I didn't send you a study. What I sent you was the average testosterone level of a man, and then I also sent you NCAA guidelines of trans women to compete. So the average man on a bad day is 10 nanomoles, and to compete as a trans woman you need to get to 5. That's why you have a 36-month window, and that's why Leah Thomas is losing her titles right now. It's because she didn't get to that window. And so you understand what's happening. That means you're able to reduce to 5 nanomoles per, and if you don't, then you're not allowed to compete. That's a big reduction of 5 nanomoles. That's huge. That's almost above 50%. That's how I'm coming up to these data. So the point here is that you can reduce much more than 50%. You have to actually reduce much more than 50% to compete. Actually, if you do not reduce more than 50%, then they won't allow you to compete. That's what the data is showing. That's why Leah Thomas is actually under threat of losing all her accolades. Apparently, she hasn't gotten to the hormonal levels necessary. Hello? 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 Are you here? Hello? All right. Yeah. So guys, this is my evidence here. Here it says the average man is between 300 and 1,000. Huge variance. 10 to 35 nanomoles. The average female is 0.5 to 2.4. The NCAA forces you to get to below 5 nanomoles per liter. The 36-month window is to get to the 5 nanomoles per liter. They wouldn't allow this 36-month window if they don't believe you can get to 5 nanomoles per liter. So to argue that the only reason that trans women should not be in sports because it's biological in nature is very dangerous, because they can. The science is changing that. Science is proving that, and he was able to admit to me as well that hormonal levels affect your strength. So all they have to do is prove that they can change your hormonal level to prove that they can affect your to basically affect your strength levels. They don't have to prove that you are weaker than most women. They just have to prove that you are getting to the hormonal average of most women, and that's very scary because it doesn't immediately translate to power. It could translate to power immediately, but it doesn't necessarily. Also, we know hormone therapy is extremely risky stuff, so That's another argument there.